I mean, well, of course, this is excellent news, and is very much welcomed. I think, there remains a lot of bad feeling on both sides. There are still people in jail who, he simply called that he expressed hope that the countries could reconcile was the precipitating factor that landed him in jail for the past several years. And there have been numerous other individuals who have been the targets. There was a lot of bad blood and sort of people, both whether in Saudi Arabia, in Qatar, will really last. I mean, previously we had in 2014, this seems to just be yet another iteration of the fact that Saudi Arabia and the UAE continue to feel somewhat dissatisfied with Qatar's behavior, specifically their support for Islamist groups, and obviously their outreach and relationship with Iran. And so moving forward, I could see Qataris wondering, perhaps they would do well to continue to maintain the level of self-sufficiency that they have developed to withstand the blockade. And so, I could see a lot of Qataris wondering about wanting to make sure that they're positioned safely in case this should occur again.
Right. Majed, indeed, if you're Qatari, you might be wondering what the 3.5 years were all about. Looking at the facts again about the accusations that were directed towards your country, again, none of those have really been changed or addressed. The reality on the ground is, if anything, Qatar's relations with Iran has probably only intensified during the boycott, has it not?
Well, regarding the relationship with Iran, I think there's always a misleading characterization that Qatar works with Iran as an ally or as a strategic partner, and this is simply not true. Yes, Turkey is a strategic partner to Qatar economically, politically, and militarily, and so is the US. Qatar has a lot of disputes with Iran over some regional issues. Remember, Qatar supported the Syrian revolution and the Syrian groups who are demanding change in the country. And that was in direct contradiction with the Iranian stance of supporting militarily the Syrian regime. And in most incursions by the Iranians in the region, Qatar has been very clear in saying that this is not accepted and that Iran should not meddle in the affairs of countries in this side of the Gulf. However, yes, Qatar, that Kuwait and Oman maintain normal ties with Iran, and even the UAE, for example. However, Qatar does understand that there is a difference of opinion on how to deal with the Iranian threat in the region, and I think this can be addressed on the table of the GCC leaders. All these differences, all these political differences should be addressed within the GCC framework. The only problem that happened 3.5 years ago is that these disputes were taken off the table, and the language that was used and the discussions that were made were not productive of a resolution between the parties involved. Now, there is a new and renewed position. We have a new found framework of working together through the GCC and through the agreement of all 4 countries. And I think it's very important here to stress that the situation of the region and everything that's happening around us here has changed greatly since 2017. A lot of the things that were in dispute and were very active issues in 2017 are not so right now. And the main external threats that are coming to the region now are economical because of the coronavirus pandemic and its effect on the economy, and the oil prices are main external threats to the GCC that require unity, require the leaders and the officials of the GCC to sit down together, manage their differences, manage their disputes, and maintain the minimum level of understanding between them in order to be able to function in this region as a bloc.
Right. Interestingly, the Iranian Foreign Minister Javad Zarif has chimed in and offered his opinion via Twitter. He said, "Congratulations to Qatar for the success of its brave resistance to pressure and extortion to our other Arab neighbors. Iran is neither an enemy nor threat. Enough scapegoating, especially with your reckless patron on his way out," meaning Donald Trump. Time to take our offer of the Javad Zarif.
Well, I think they should walk the talk. As an analyst, I try to keep away from all this brouhaha. But I truly believe that the Iranians should match their words with their deeds, because there's so many things are happening, there's evidence, there's things are going on. And for a long time, people expected And if you remember King Abdullah, the late King Abdullah went to Iran, there were talk, but all what you hear are very strange statements by several echelons of the Iranian regime. These are truly the oil fields, the ones at the airport, even as coming as far as Jeddah, the roads coming right and left. These things you still have to stop. Once there is that kind of true belief that should be dialogue, then I don't think so. The Saudis or even the Gulf states would like to continue this because, as Dr. Majid said, we have challenges, and by God, we have challenges. We have, apart from the scarcity of water in the Gulf, rising population, oil prices down, jobs, so many people entering the job market. These are real challenges which we people on the ground know. Forget what's happening in it. We do not want to be pawns in any international game. We would like to get our act together. We would really like to sit together. The GCC was formed not as an anomaly. I think it was to have a cohesive landmass with, joints. It has succeeded in some aspects. The last 2-3 years have been really disturbing,
Right.
and we all would like to see that this is just behind us and start focusing. And again, I would repeat the amount of happiness in all regions of the Gulf with this rapprochement between Saudi Arabia and Qatar, and of course the other states.
Right, certainly no lack of challenges in the region, as you have pointed out, Khaled. Anel, these talks were mediated by Kuwait. Kuwait got a lot of credit for them, and rightfully so. But I think it's fair and safe to say that this deal